is Gingy Rochelle. I'm a producer, filmmaker. I'm from LA, reborn in New York, back in LA. My
name is Lee Davis. I'm a writer, director. I'm originally from New York, currently living in Los Angeles, and I'm a filmmaker.
My name is Hans Elder. I am a Renaissance man, self-proclaimed filmmaker, author, lifestyle influencer, media mogul.
What I like about Romance is Served is it's as simple as it gets, but it has endless possibilities. Endless possibility for conversation, endless possibilities for resolution. It is thought-provoking, and it's the ancient question. It's the ancient mystery. It's something that may never have the answer to, and it just goes on and on. It's not age, it's not gender, it's not class specific. It's a common question, and the answer is yet to be revealed. It's ongoing, and it's exciting, and it's contagious.
What intrigued me about making this film was when Hans first approached me about making a film about dating and romance and love. He didn't want to do something that was exploiting or showing things that were the kind of crazy moments of love. He really wanted to get to the truth and the honesty of, how people fail in relationships, how relationships go sour, and how do we recover from that. And so I think that in terms of why I wanted to make this film, I had my own questions about romance and about love, and I really wanted to see, if other people had the same notions and the same questions, and wanted to seek answers, or at least to kind of investigate why we end up where we end up sometimes.
I wanted to do this film because I really wanted to inspire people to talk. I think in a lot of relationships, everybody has thoughts that they keep to themselves, which I feel, hinder the relationship from really reaching its fullest potential.
There were a few moments that really stood out for me. I saw, beautiful women who were kind of taking responsibility for actions that they may have knowingly broken a guy's heart. I saw men being open and vulnerable about pain that they had sustained from a loss. I think that again, the environment that we set up, you normally don't see that happen on an everyday basis. You don't see people as open. For me, the most memorable was when Mario talked about a relationship he had where a young woman had an abortion and did it without his knowledge. And you could see the pain on his face. You could see it was just as real as if it happened yesterday. The wound was just as fresh.
I can't necessarily say that I've taken anything away from the experience of Romance is Served that surprises me. What I could say about what I got from Romance is Served is that certain questions or issues or situations and experiences that I've lived through aren't just mine. Many people have had so many similarities with their stories or their insecurities or their thoughts and how they felt from relationships or unsuccessful relationships. It's not just me, it's everyone. It's everyone in one degree or another. And it's nothing to necessarily learn, it's something to hear of perspectives. It's a perspective that you don't often hear, and communication doesn't happen as it should, and that's probably why this is such an amazing project, because it's conversations that people within their relationships are too vulnerable to speak of, and it's important.
Well, I guess similar to Gingy, it wasn't, I think the shocking part for me was that there were so many people who had been through what I've been through. And I think listening to some of the guys, I was really like, wow, is this for real? as I was walking around the building, I had the headphones on and I was listening to, I think Mario talk, and he was speaking about some of his personal experiences, and I was like, I literally paused in the hallway because he said something that was so personal to me that I'd never really spoken to some of my friends about. So it was kind of like he allowed me personally to release in that moment. And during the shoot, I went up to him after he finished his interview and I said, thank you. Personally, I said thank you.
I think that with Romance is Served, the most fascinating element that I did see from the interviews, which is very interesting, is the vulnerability that men have. The vulnerability, they have the same exact insecurities and vulnerability. They represent this essence of strength and everything is okay, but they have the same exact vulnerability that women have. And I think that's probably the biggest, I don't know, aha moment that I had with Romance is Served. And it's refreshing because men need to be expressive. They might not be, all that they said in Romance is Served, they might not have ever discussed it with their mates. But this is a moment for them to be vulnerable, and I appreciate that, and I think women would appreciate that.
There's a lot of things that make this film different from any other film that I've done. It's a documentary in the sense that we, had cameras and we set up cameras and we documented people as they opened up to us and telling us about these critical crossroads that they experienced in their lives and their loves. I think that what was really impressive was the amount of honesty that they had as we were able to kind of share from those experiences. And so this was unscripted. This is not reality TV in that sense. This is real. This is people really opening up and really sharing with us. And everything was completely unexpected. Everything was completely spontaneous. So in a sense, it was writing itself while we were filming. And these moments, that we have on screen are real. They're real people and real moments. This is honesty at its highest level.
Right. For me, I learned that theory is extremely true by way of what was let out, and I didn't pick individuals who I felt were beat up and just were loaded with issues that were ready to bust. There were some that were going through divorces at that very moment, but I just wanted average people. I didn't want to create an environment where there were so many extremes, and to learn that the average person is holding on to a lot only leaves you to imagine about people, the extremes, because prior to making this film, a friend of mine had their best friend was murdered by a guy that she was dating. It wasn't even her boyfriend, essentially. It was a guy she was dating. He kills her, and then he kills himself in the front lawn. This, man had been through divorces and, which are traumatizing. A broken heart is traumatizing enough, but to go to that extreme and then to have to deal with the court system and, who knows how him and his ex-wife were relating to each other at the time. So the point is that love has pushed people to these extremes, and for me it was kind of like, okay, let's intervene. Let's create something that will sort of aid people in the process to health, mental health, emotional health. So it's sort of like I put my whole community on the couch at one time to say, hey, tell me about your problems. Let's learn from each other because we all are going through it. Nobody's issues are exclusive. You're not the only person that's been cheated on, that's been lied to, that's been manipulated, taken advantage of, abused. You're not on the island by yourself. So let's clear out the closet so that we can start to enter into new relationships with a healthier outlook.